Hey, welcome back to another video about the Road to Ryzen. This is going to be a short lifestyle unpacking video sort of type. And today we're going to look at a Cablemod power supply set and the power supply I selected for my new Road to Ryzen build. So, yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Let's first take a little look at the power supply. It's a pretty heavy box. So with all the lights in the studio, I guess I should say, but we're really in a garage. It's kind of hard to get it on film. Well, this side's not that interesting. Oh, there we go. Let's look over here. Let's see. There we go. So this is a Seasonic Prime Titanium, and the titanium stands for Titanium 80 Plus rated. And that means that basically in most, if not any condition, its efficiency will remain above 90%. And choosing a power supply is very subjective. I find that it's important to get a high quality power supply. This power supply will be supplying all the voltage and everything that's power in your computer. And especially when overclocking, things like voltage ripple and overcurrent protection, or if something fails, a component fails in your computer, this power supply is going to protect you from a fire or not. And, well, I value a high quality power supply. Also, in regards to wattage, if you buy an A brand high quality power supply, this power supply will actually really deliver 750 watts to the computer. Not from the wall. It'll draw more from the wall, about 10% more in this case, but it will deliver the 750 watt continuously. Where a cheaper power supply or a B brand power supply, it might say 750, but you really never know when it starts to degrade and voltage sag starts to appear and you suddenly get a blue screen during overclocking. Was it the power supply? Wasn't it? Who knows? At least in this case, I'll know for sure. So, ATX, the dimensions, as I said, 80 plus titanium. It accepts a wide range of input, so it's usable in the EU or in the Netherlands, where I am, or in the US. And it has the default connectors included. It's able to deliver 20 amps at 3.3 volts, 20 amps at 5 volts, and 62 amps at 12 volts. And as you can see, that's almost all the current the power supply can supply. That's pretty normal. Most of the components in your computer use 12 volts nowadays. Just some smaller stuff uses 3.3 and 5 volts. So, let's take a look here if I can get that in focus. Yeah. So, as I was saying before, this has micro-tolerance load regulation. Of course, that's a bit of marketing BS, but it means that it's very tight on what voltage it will supply. And if you suddenly draw a higher amperage, the voltage won't sag as much. It has a 135 millimeter fan, so the Prime series went up from a 120, which basically every Seasonic used before that, to 135. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs in reality, and especially in regards to noise. Talking about noise, it has a premium hybrid fan control. What that means, if you're not drawing high wattage, like during gaming, but you're just at a desktop in Windows, it most likely will just turn off the fan because you're not drawing enough power to make the power supply heat up. So that's good, because no fan means no noise. Super low ripple, extended hold times, and fully modular, multi-GPU, gold-plated high-current terminals. Ooh. It's made in Taiwan. Well, then at least I'll have a component which is not made in China. So, not sure what that's worth. So let's get it out of the box. There we go. Okay, so there's a little booklet, or a little pouch, I guess, with some tie wraps, a little booklet, some screws, and a badge. If you're really vain about having a Seasonic power supply, you can put the badge in the case. Okay. Ooh, velvet. Okay. Let me get that. So looking at the power supply, you can actually see the bigger fan in there. Here we have the input sockets. It's a standard C13, C14 socket. And a power switch and a button to enable or disable hybrid mode. I guess it depends. If you do want the fan always running, you can disable the hybrid mode. And over here, whoop, let me turn that around. We have, ooh, it's a bit slippery, or smooth, I guess. Over here we have the output terminals. So we have CPU and PCIe. As you can see, we have enough PCIe to run a dual graphics card, motherboard, and peripheral, so IDE, SATA, modecs. So let's quickly see which cables are included. I really like this metal two-tone color that it has. Sadly, in my build, in the P400S, there's no real power supply window in the shroud, so probably won't be really visible, but oh well. So, let's see. Cables. Okay, standard power supply, which is correct for my country. And then there's two bags of cables. So yeah, I'll probably mute those crackling noises in post, because holy shit. The 24-pin cable is sleeved in black mesh, and all the other cables are basically sorry about all that noise. Basically this all cables are this flat, basically flat ribbon styled cables. There's no ketchup and mustard cables here, so that's nice. So if you're not getting custom cables like I have, these should still look pretty nice in every build. Okay, let me quickly put that back in the box and let's look at the Cablemod cables I got. I can never get things to fit like they did when they originally came out of the box. I hate that. It's quite heavy unit. But I guess with power supplies you can still say that heavy means quality, I guess. But it's not always the case. But, heavy at least means sturdy. So, yeah. Okay, power supply, bye-bye for now. And there we go, back in the box. Back in a very scratched up box by sliding it over the table. Whoa, no. Okay, after looking at the Seasonic 750 watt Prime Titanium power supply, let's take a look at this Cablemod set. This is a set that they sell which has the most used cables included, although you can buy all cables sleeved separately. Buying one of these sets is actually cheaper. This whole set costs €100 and it should contain most cables you would normally use, basically the same as come with the power supply. So this is the KM3 XP2 set, and it's the SE Series Premium Cable Kit in white. And if anyone is interested, here is the product code. Okay, let's take a look. Now, a modded cable set is purely for aesthetics. There's really, almost really no other reason to do so. These are complete cables, so they're not extensions. Sometimes there might be a reason to use extensions though, but really completely different cables than come with your power supply, only because you don't like the looks. Otherwise, just use the cables that come with the power supply. So it comes in a bag. It's a little less nice bag, but be honest, who's going to look at the bag after they build their system anyway? So, yeah. Okay, it has a quality assurance guarantee. So it must be good. And a little Molex to floppy connector, because it doesn't include any floppy cables. Okay, let's have a look what's in the bag. So as I said, my Road To Ryzen build is going to be black with white. So mainly black color with white accents. And well, let's open the first cable we see, which is a 24-pin motherboard connector. And as on the power supply, it comes separated in two connectors. Let me see if that's it. So as on the power supply, it comes in two connectors on this end, and then a 24-pin you insert into the motherboard. And these are white cables, so they're very subjective to smudging. When I first got them out of the package, I noticed some wires had some different coloring on there. You can still see a little bit, but most of it just rubbed off. I'm not sure how it got on there. I would have liked to tell Cablemod to maybe do their quality, although it's an assurance guarantee, maybe do it a little bit better for the white cables, because you can still see here there's some smudges on there, and the color isn't just perfectly alike on all cables. So I don't know what happened. Maybe the guy who made the cables had dirty hands, or I don't know. But all in all, it still looks pretty good, and it probably won't show up in the build itself. That's just, you know, it's one of those things. If you buy nice cables, they better look nice. So moving on, we have SATA, and more SATA. I'm not going to get them out of the bags. You know what it looks like. So moving on, you have a lot of PC Express cables, which are these. And there's different types. There's one that have 8-pin on one side and 8-pin on the other side, or it's actually 6+2. And then we have ones that have it like this, which means it has 8-pin on one side, which is the power supply side, and then it's meant to basically connect a 2x8-pin graphics card. So you can bundle these together on your graphics card, and on your on your power supply, it will just use one 8-pin. But if that's not good enough for you, you do get a lot of these. So 1, 2, 3, that should be enough for 3 graphics cards. And then you still have these, and these are mostly for 8-pin EPS motherboard connectors, or 8+4, depending on how your motherboard is laid out. And well, that is basically it. There's not much to say about cables. I can show you a closer look of this one to see how well it's sleeved. Okay, let's hope that's in focus now. So they're nicely sleeved. There's no heat shrink visible, and well, all in all, they look great. They certainly look a lot better than the stock cables. And as I said, it's white, so it's very susceptible to smudges. So it's hard to tell if it's exactly okay and not dirty. But that's just because you're looking really close by at the cables. Once it's in the case, you very most likely won't be able to tell. And yeah, I'm hoping it's going to look awesome. So that's kind of it with cables. They're cables. So that's basically all there is to be said about a power supply and cables. Recently, there have been a lot of leaks about Ryzen and about the 1800 and 1700 and 1600 model, and actually it's looking really good. The 1800 model seems a bit expensive to me, especially compared to the 1700 model, but what I think they're doing, but this isn't confirmed yet, this is what I think, is that they're going to bundle an all-in-one cooler with the 1800X, which won't come with the 1700X, but basically it's going to be the same chip. That would explain the big price difference between the 1800X and the 1700X, but specification-wise, they're almost the same, 200 megahertz difference. So I hope that's the case, because then I can get a 1700X, because I have the AlphaCool Ice Bear 360, which should provide ample cooling anyway. Pricing looks good, and what's more important is performance benchmarks of 1600X, 17 and 1800X have started to surface, and especially the 1800X is able to rival Intel's 8-core CPU, which is more than 2 times as expensive if pricing rumors are correct. So that all looks awesome, and spec-wise and performance-wise, it's shaping up to look really good. Yes, a 7700K will still outperform its single core, but that's because those things clock to 4.5-5 gigahertz. Who knows? Maybe Ryzen will also. But compared to my Haswell build, as I have currently, IPC of the Ryzen should actually be better as it looks right now. So, with that, I wanted to end this video. I should be posting another update, hopefully middle of this week, with what kind of storage I'll be using, what kind of memory I'll be using, and maybe some fans and stuff like that. I've hinted before it's going to be RGB, but, you know, I just want to show you guys. And let's hope I can start building soon. From what it looks like right now, the professional reviewers have the samples right now, and they'll be able to release their review figures at the 28th of February. When AMD is probably going to release it or announce it. And then at 2 March, you guys and me and everyone else should be able to buy them. So let's hope it's going to rock. And I hope you'll follow me along and maybe wait off a little bit to see what my results are, or at least what the professional reviewers' results are. But if the rumors are correct, this is going to be awesome for the next few years, because Intel will have a battle on their hands, which they haven't had for a long time. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.